The much-awaited action movie Argylle is already being developed into a prequel series set in the same universe. The prequel series will center on the early years of Agent Argylle, played by Henry Cavill. Though there are little specifics available, it is anticipated to be an origin story that delves into Agent Argylle's development into a skilled spy. What do we know about Argylle Prequel series? A huge cast list for the Argylle Prequel series was revealed only days before the much-awaited action movie even made its debut. In the 2024 action movie Argylle, starring Henry Cavill and Bryce Dallas Howard, a recluse writer discovers that her best-selling espionage novels have some bearing on real life, and she becomes entangled in a world of spies. Hollywood is eager to get on board Argylle as it has all the makings of a successful action franchise with huge names and an even greater plot. The first clue about the future of the series was released even before the first members of the general public viewed the Matthew Vaughn-directed movie. Vaughn's newest meta-action concept has the potential to spawn a limitless number of sequels and spin-offs, much like spy movies like James Bond. The successful television series that Argylle is already being developed into is a prequel TV series set in the same universe as the movie. The director of movies such as Kingsman and Kick-Ass is no stranger to successful series. The first step toward turning the spy thriller into a franchise was disclosed a few days before the movie's theatrical release, an Argylle Prequel series. The Argylle Prequel TV series, which will follow Cavill's Agent Argylle in his early years, is starting to take form as ideas for future films and possibly even a Kingsman crossover are being discussed. Louis Partridge, who starred in Enola Holmes, was confirmed to be chosen to play the lead role along with the announcement. What do we know about the cast and story of the Argylle Prequel series? Well, there aren't many details on the impending prequel series, and there's only been one confirmed cast member thus far, Agent Argylle's younger form, played by Louis Partridge, who previously collaborated with Cavill on both of the Netflix Enola Holmes movies, is scheduled to make an appearance. It's currently uncertain who the other members of the cast will be, as well as if the characters in the Argylle Prequel series will be younger iterations of other well-known movie faces. The Argylle Prequel series plot has not been disclosed, other than the fact that it centers on Cavill's Agent Argylle during his formative years. The most likely plot will be a simple origin story that traces Argylle's development into the seasoned spy portrayed in the film. The bizarre and meta storyline of the franchise, however, leaves room for a lot of unexpected turns, and the way the series is handled may depend on a lot of yet-to-be-discovered plot points. Is there any connection between Argylle's post-credits scene and the Kingsman movie? One more bombshell for the spy series is revealed in the Argylle post-credits scene, which also promises big crossover plans for the future. There have always been ambitious ambitions for the 2024 action film starring Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, and Bryce Dallas Howard. 10 years ago, director Matthew Vaughn effectively started a spy film franchise with Kingsman, and there was early speculation that Argylle may be the first in a long line of great espionage films. Teases for crossovers, sequels, and prequels followed, raising curiosity about how Argylle's surprising conclusion would set up these new projects. Post-credit scenes are one of the main ways Hollywood set up franchises for the future. One unanswered concern has been whether the film would feature more footage in the credits, given the grandiose aspirations for the Argylle franchise. Matthew Vaughn has employed this technique previously, most famously the shocking post-credit scene in The Kingsman. There was a strong possibility that the end credit scene from the Argylle books would be incorporated now that the director was back and making a movie based on the books. The existence of an Argylle post-credit scene has been verified. Since the scene begins in the middle of the credit sequence and ends without an extra tag, it is officially classified as a mid-credit scene. This implies that in order to see what is displayed, viewers of Argylle in theaters or on streaming services should stick around for the credits. In addition to giving fans a hint as to what the next installment in the franchise will include, doing so will allow them to see the names of all the people who put in a great deal of effort to make the espionage film feasible. The revelation that Argylle and Kingsman occur in the same universe is the main revelation of Argylle's mid-credits scene. 20 years prior to the film's primary events, there is a credits sequence. A young Aubrey Argylle, portrayed by Louis Partridge, the star of Enola Holmes, is shown entering a bar that is known from Vaughn's spy film universe. The King's Man is the name of the pub in question. When the younger Argylle arrives at the site to retrieve a parcel, it turns out to be a rifle. In the Kingsman films, the group is mainly reliant on a suit tailor shops for its operations. There is no indication that it has a bar of its own. The sequence in the credits for Argylle shows that there are more economic prospects and covers for the organization than previously thought. Given that the Kingsman bar and the covert espionage organization have the same name, the existence of the bar verifies a direct connection between Argylle and Kingsman. The fact that it has the same title as the 2021 film The Kingsman further connects the two. The mid-credit scene is noteworthy not just for establishing the linked universe between Argylle and Kingsman, but also for connecting the Kingsman organization to Agent Argylle's background. Now, there's a clear link between the Kingsman and his beginnings as a spy. Even though Agent Argylle isn't formally a part of Kingsman, the scene in the credit that lays out some background information about the spy and the group may be significant for the future of the franchise. It implies that not only do the two spy movies take place in the same fictional world, but that Argylle and Kingsman might eventually come into contact once more. Does the scene in the middle of Argylle's credits set up the Argylle Prequel series? The mid-credit scene featuring Argylle holds significance for the franchise's future since it directly establishes a prequel. Shortly before the film's premiere, rumors circulated that a prequel series to Argylle was in the works. The project is being developed by Matthew Vaughn. It appears the original goal was to make a movie franchise rather than a television show. It is intended for Louis Partridge to play a younger Aubrey Argylle in the lead role of the Argylle Prequel, reprising his performance from the credits scene. It's unknown who else from the Argylle cast would make a cameo in the prequel. The plot of the prequel is still unclear because so little is known about it from the Argylle post-credits sequence. The show might set up Argylle's life up to this point and then delve a little deeper to reveal more about his beginnings and the events that lead him to the Kingsman Tavern. Additionally, this would be a fantastic chance for the shared universe to elaborate on the relationship between Agent Argylle's past and Kingsman. Either way, the Argylle Prequel ought to provide additional insight into the life of the youthful Agent Argylle that Ellie Conway writes about. Also, the way that Argylle 2 is set up in the mid-credit sequence of Argylle is a little unexpected. The title card says that Argylle Book 1, the movie coming soon, appears at the end of the credit sequence. This suggests that the upcoming Argylle film may not be your usual sequel, nor one that stars Henry Cavill as Agent Argylle. It seems that Louis Partridge will now play a bigger part and return to the character of the younger Argylle. As the film delves into the fictional agent from Conway's books, it's still feasible that Cavill's previous Argylle will make an appearance. Some of the key players from the first film would not seem to be involved because of this apparent setup for Argylle 2. Bryce Dallas Howard's Ellie Conway, Rachel Kiley, and Sam Rockwell's Aiden might not have a place if the sequel/prequel centers on the imaginary Agent Argylle. One possible solution would be to allow both leads to return in Argylle's prequel, which would also explore the actual events that served as the inspiration for Ellie's book. It's probable that Argylle 2 will now feature the Kingsman organization and well-known individuals. Because Samuel L. Jackson and Sofia Boutella appear in both the Argylle and Kingsman films but play distinct characters, the laws of this universe are already a little unclear. Things become much more unclear when one considers the possibility that Ellie Conway's made-up Argylle universe contains the Kingsman movies, or that she has some sort of link to the franchise. Have you seen Argylle, the just-released film? How much are you looking forward to Argylle's prequel series? Please leave your comments below with your thoughts on this. For more interesting stories and updates, please subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye!